So this is going to be the performance of my original trick. So we're going to start off with this deck of cards here, and I'm going to start off by mentioning that I have a prediction in this envelope, and we'll get to that later on. So we don't need the card box, so we'll just get rid of that, and we're just going to be using this deck of cards here, and we'll start off by just giving it a bit of a mix-up, just so the cards are in a bit of a random order, because we don't want to think that the cards are stacked in any way for this. The order of the cards doesn't really matter, and we'll just give the cards a bit of a cut. So there we go, the cards have been mixed up and they've been cut, and now we'll begin. So the spectator is going to begin by taking a bunch of cards off the top of the deck and counting to the number of cards themselves silently and remembering that number. And that number is going to help them later on. So we'll cut off some cards and remember the number of cards they have. And once they've remembered the number they have, they'll keep them in their hands. We'll just pretend that the spectator's over there for now. And now I'm going to use some cards for myself. So that's 4, that's 9, 10. We'll use a few more. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so that should be enough cards. We'll just give you the rest of the deck for now. And actually, no, I'll take the rest of the cards off you. We don't need them for now. We'll give you these. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these cards here to generate a random card for you to think of. So the way we're going to do this is using the number that you thought of earlier. So if you're thinking of the number 3, for example, you would deal down 1, 2, 3 cards. Take a look at the card you dealt down to, remember it, and then place the rest of the cards on top. Okay, so you can do that now with the number you are thinking of. Okay, so the spectator would do that. And then take a look at the card. I won't look at it, so just remember the card. I'll look over here. And once they've remembered it, place the rest of the cards on top. So the magician would turn back around now, and obviously the card would be lost amongst these cards, and it would be pretty impossible for anyone, well, for me to know where the card is, let alone anyone else in the room. So we'll just cut that into the middle of the deck right now, make it virtually impossible for me to know where that card is in the deck. We'll just leave the deck there. We're not going to keep any breaks or anything. In fact, we'll go straight to my prediction, because obviously the cards were mixed up at the beginning of the deck, at the beginning of the trick. They were cut, and then you generated a random number, and then you fought on a random card. Now I placed my prediction in this envelope at the very beginning. Now I'm going to take out my prediction, just like this, and you can see that I placed one card in the envelope, and it just so happens to be the 4 of hearts. Was your card the 4 of hearts? It wasn't. Okay, that's fine, because as you can see, I put a second prediction in the envelope just in case, and it just so happens to be the 10 of diamonds. Was your card the 10 of diamonds? It wasn't. Okay, that's fine, because I put a third prediction in the envelope, and it just so happens to be the 7 of clubs. Was your card the 7 of clubs? It wasn't. Well, that's a shame, because I didn't put a 4th prediction in. Okay, that's fine. Maybe the cards I put in the envelope have some other meaning. So if we take the 7 and the 10 and the 4, and maybe we add them up, and that maybe will tell us where your card is in the deck. I know it's not telling us what your card is, but it might tell us where your card is in the deck. So if we add them up, that's 4 plus 10 is 14, plus 7 is 21. So I know it's a long shot, but we'll give it a go anyway. So 21, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And the 21st card just so happens to be the Jack of Spades. Was that your card? It was. That's pretty impressive, right? Now, I'm sorry, but I did deceive you earlier on, because I was pretending I didn't know what your card was, And this was a bit of a ruse, because on the backs of these cards I wrote my predictions. I actually wrote J for Jack of spades, the Jack of spades. Now that's pretty cool. But the cooler thing is that you had no choice to choose other than the Jack of spades, because the rest of the deck is completely blank. And that's the trick. I hope you enjoyed.